We are officially on Zoom, right? So we have to do a roll call for who's here.
Correct.
All right. So Bill Shop is here.
Jesse Burns here.
Jennifer West.
Everybody's here.
Oh, Isabel Jackson.
What else do we do? You already got names up here. Do we need their names as
I
well,
got their
probably, for the
names.
people on the screen?
No, the roll call is just for the board.
For voting.
Oh, okay. Okay. And let's see, we've got Isabel, Jesse, Jennifer, me, we've got a quorum. So let's see, the next order of business is to approve the minutes of March 14. I have looked over them and didn't see anything wrong with them, but I can miss things at times.
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Second.
So motion made by Jesse Burns, seconded by Isabel Jackson. Any discussion on the matter? No discussion being heard. All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Say again?
This is where you do the roll call.
This is where I do the roll call. All right, Jesse Burns,
Aye.
Jennifer West,
Aye.
Isabel Jackson,
Aye.
Bill Shelby says aye. Okay, this is where we do the roll call. All right, minutes have been approved. And it looks like we have no old business to deal with for land use or development review, and we do move on to new business, which is, who do we have represented here today?
Bruce Burke and Suzanne Caparel.
Okay, so that being the case, I am going to make a motion. We take the agenda out of order and go with Bruce Murkoff and Susan Chaparral first.
Second.
Any discussion? Bill Shoppy made the motion. Isabel Jackson made the second. All in favor? Jennifer West,
Aye.
Isabel Jackson,
Aye.
Bill Shoppy says aye. Jesse Burns.
Aye.
All right, taking it out of order. Bruce Murkoff or Susan Caparel, please.
That was good.
That was good. Application LU 1122 to construct an addition of library, bedroom, and bathroom. Now, what can you tell us about what was going on here, other than it's what's already written?
Well, it's an old barn about 3 feet from the house. So we want to connect, give us more space. That's essentially it.
Okay, so you're making like a breezeway kind of a thing,
Yes,
or?
very short breezeway to the barn.
Yeah. And then you've got some drawings here of the addition that you're gonna be making, or the changes inside you're gonna be making.
Correct.
Am I to assume this might be the house?
That's the house. Well, the room it'll be attached to, yes.
So other than the breezeway, you're not changing the footprint anywhere, right?
No, not at all.
Anybody got questions about all this?
Do we need a septic plan? Because it's increasing the number of bedrooms.
It is increasing the number of
The
bedrooms. isn't it?
septic there
And
is
bathroom.
sufficient for what they're doing.
And we have something on that?
They-
I do in here?
Yep, you do.
Oh,
The original septic design is in there and.
Uh-huh.
And Bill signed off on it, said it is sufficient to
okay.
do what they want to do.
Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Looking.
have a 3-bedroom system. They currently have 2 bedrooms and they're adding one to it. So
Uh-huh.
But they're also adding a bathroom too, right?
that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter as far as
No,
septic
no.
systems goes for some reason.
Septic systems only count bedrooms.
So yes, I have something signed off by Bill Boardman, I'm sure.
Yep.
2/17/22 saying that it is large enough to support the expansion.
Yes.
And everything else is pre-existing. Unless somebody wants to go out there, I honestly don't see a reason for a site review where it's just a connecting 2 buildings, not changing the footprint otherwise.
I don't see a reason.
Okay,
I wouldn't recommend one on this one. So.
what's that?
I would not recommend one.
Oh.
On this
I
one. In case you're interested.
thought you said I would recommend one. I'm like, what?
I'll make a motion that on, what's it, LU 11-22?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that a site review is not needed.
I'll second that. So motion made by Jesse Burns, seconded by Bill Shoppy. Any discussion involved? No discussion being warranted. All in favor? Jesse Burns,
Aye.
Bill Shoppy says aye. Isabel Jackson
Aye.
and Jennifer West.
Aye.
Okay, we can pass on the site review. Oh. Next, we can ask the question, is it complete?
I would think.
I think it is. I mean, it's like we talked about, there's no additional footprint, there's no additional outer stuff.
Right,
Septic is in accordance.
right?
I
So-
move that LU 11-22 is complete.
Second.
Okay, a motion made by Jesse Burns, seconded by Isabel. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor? Jennifer West,
Aye.
Isabel Jackson,
Aye.
Bill Shoppy, aye. And Jesse Burns.
Aye.
We do, no reason for a
Public hearing.
public hearing, and then whether it's complete, we already said complete,
Yeah.
then approve or disapprove, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need a motion for whether we're to do a public hearing or not,
So move
to do a public hearing or not.
to do a public hearing. No, or to not do a public hearing.
Okay. Anyone second?
Second.
All right. Isabel made the motion to not do, the public hearing is not required. Jesse Burns seconded the matter, and any discussion? No, okay. All in favor, Jesse?
Aye.
Bill Shoppy, aye. Isabel Jackson
Aye.
and Jennifer West.
Aye.
Okay.
I move that LU 11-22 is complete,
Can I make
No,
one
we already did
comment,
complete,
though?
didn't we?
or excuse me, approved. What's up?
There may be a deck added. Will that make any difference off the bat?
It could.
Steps going down.
If it's not on these, you're gonna probably have to do a separate.
Yeah, you'll have to do a separate permit for that.
All right.
That one will just go through me though.
Okay, I've got that already. Okay. All right, this is something that we just talked about. We're not sure if we're gonna do it, but
Yeah,
to be on the safe side.
right. We can't throw that into this, but you can certainly address it
Okay.
later.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Where was we?
So like I said, I move that LU 11-22 is approved.
Second.
All right, motion made by Jesse Burns, seconded by Isabel Jackson. Any discussion? All in favor? Jesse Burns,
Aye.
Bill Shoppy, aye. Isabel Jackson
Aye.
and Jennifer West.
Aye.
I guess you'll see that forthcoming, and you're welcome to stick around for the rest of the meeting, or you're welcome to leave, whichever you prefer.
And I'll do, chairman, of the board, Bill, he will sign the permit,
Okay,
and then we'll put it in the mail.
that's great.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank
Yes, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, make sure I'm putting the right one back here.
I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's the right one. Okay. All right, I move that we return to the original agenda.
Second.
Bill Shoppy made the motion. Jesse Burns seconded. Any discussion? Excuse me, no discussion being heard. All in favor, Jesse Burns,
Aye.
Bill Shoppy, aye. Isabel Jackson,
Aye.
and Jennifer West.
Aye.
All right. Looks like we have land use ordinance Roger Burke for Terry Sanderson, application LU 10-22 to construct a new entrance, porch, and 9x10 dining area.
You should have in the original green folder.
Yeah.
Should be the blueprints or the specs.
Yeah, I see a set of blueprints in here. Yeah,
Roger, I don't think is here.
I don't see Roger here. I see Terry Cowan. And
Who's up in the corner?
He's back on island though, isn't he?
Jim.
That's Jim Mitchell.
okay, Jim Mitchell. And is that Melissa Burns over there?
Yep.
We have all those on our record, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
I have not seen anything other than the application on this. I haven't talked to Roger or
Right.
anything about it, so I don't know a whole lot about what he's.
I'm trying to get this open without losing everything, because I know I'm right here, but
Yeah, I wasn't sure if maybe that application showed more details in terms of setbacks.
Yeah.
right, I didn't see anything on what we have as far as that goes.
Mhm.
And I don't see anything other than what we have there. These plans. Come on, fingers.
I did look at the tax maps. It is not a non-conforming lot.
No, don't need to go do any homework right now.
No, the lot's big enough to do whatever they want to do, but I'm
Oh.
not sure exactly
Right,
about the setbacks and stuff.
so we're lacking some information here,
I was hoping Roger would be here tonight to
right?
answer some questions.
Well, we're gonna need a site review anyway, right?
We're gonna need a site review anyway. Especially that we don't have that kind of information.
Yeah.
If we can pick that information up at the site review. So I'm gonna put this all back together so that, because it's nothing other than what we already have. In fact, there's no septic design or anything like that, and they're not talking about putting any
No,
bedrooms in, so,
So we wouldn't need a septic.
you wouldn't need a septic design for this.
no, you wouldn't. Okay, I gotta put all this back together before I lose it.
Well, but he's adding on to it though, so we'd have to make sure that there's no septic or no anything
Right,
in
we have to
line
make sure
with
the
where
set-
he's
the setbacks.
adding.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure the setbacks. are-
Right.
And one thing I wanted to ask, he does own shoreland. Should he indicate that on the permit, even though the project is not in the shoreland?
No, because it doesn't fall within the 200 feet.
Okay,
So
okay.
He's, yes, the property, part of the property is in shoreland, but the part he's building on is not.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So anything other than a site review, is there anything else anybody?
Mm,
Site review will answer a lot of questions that we would have.
I move that we table LU 10-22 for a site review.
Second.
Motion made by Jesse Burns, seconded by Isabel Jackson. Any discussion involved? Any further discussion? No. All right, by vote, Jennifer West,
Aye.
Isabel Jackson,
Aye.
Bill Shoppy, aye. Jesse Burns,
All right,
so tabled.
who's gonna go on the site review?
I'm sorry,
So who's gonna go on the site?
who's
review?
gonna go on the site review? I haven't made one. I've tried.
When are you gonna have it, you know?
I'm not sure. I gotta talk to Roger and make sure he gets everything marked off.
I'll put my name in the hat to go on it.
Yeah, I could do it, since I assume you guys have been doing all the work here.
But you wanna get back into it?
Yeah,
So he's been pretty slow, Jennifer.
Yeah,
yeah.
and the one that I was
That's not
supposed to
accurate. We've
go
been
on,
swamped. We've had so many.
More development reviews, attorneys
yeah, yeah,
arguing left and right.
All right, so Bill and Jennifer are going.
yeah, and they will let us know.
Yeah.
And,
And it will not be on a Sunday, I can tell you that.
well, that's okay too, and Sunday afternoons is all right with me, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but, no, my biggest thing is just remembering that I gotta be at one. You know? I get carried away doing stuff and I'll just forget. But yeah, okay.
Well, I'd say we'd send up a flare, but.
Send up a
But
flare?
it might.
Yeah, come on, I deserve it, that's all right.
Nothing flammable. Maybe a
Hey,
messenger pigeon or something.
I own my mistakes. I do, I own them. I can't, the worst part about it is I can't even claim I said hold my beer, you know?
Just did it.
Yeah, so anyway. All right, what else? That's put to bed, is it not?
Yeah.
All right, and nothing new in development review. Other business, we got a CEO report.
That was very small, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. All right.
I must admit, the shoulder stabilization, I didn't know if you were doing PT now.
Oh. No, not quite.
No, no.
What is that?
Shoreland.
Shoreland, it's
stabilization, let's put it that way.
Oh,
Rip
okay.
wrap or something like that. in.
Oh,
The new dock that you folks approved for Craig Bentner up at Turtle Head
that's
last
why.
year,
Yeah,
that's all done and it looks great, but he decided that there was quite a bit of erosion happening around it, so he's,
Want this tune her up.
so he decided. to
Bring more rocks to
bring more
Islesboro.
up. Yeah, pretty much.
so that's the dock, I mean, the, whatever, out on Turtle Head or near.
Yeah.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Well, it's disappointing, it's not a shoulder stabilization.
Yeah.
All right, now we are up to people wishing to address the planning board. This is your opportunity.
Okay, well, I just wanted to come and answer any questions preliminary to submitting an application for the recreational dock at Seal Harbor. I'm hoping that that can be on the next agenda. We will submit the application. We're on a bit of a time crunch just because we're hoping to have that operational for the summer. And we've got materials ordered now. The supply chain is an issue, but we've ordered certain materials through the town that would be part of the bid process. The town will own them. And so we have a contractor that is willing to do it in a timely fashion, but we still have to go through the bid process to make sure that no one else wants to bid on it. All the permits have been approved and obtained, except the DEP permit is not in our hands, but it has been approved at the state level. I've been in touch with Jamie McNeil at the DEP and continue throughout the winter. I've been back and forth about various aspects, and that's it's just a matter of them getting it in the mail, getting it here at this point. So everything is just pending getting that permit, which we should have. I thought we'd have it already this week, but it'll certainly be very soon. They were required to get it before the 1st of April by a mandate. One of the things that would be nice if it could happen would be prior to this next meeting, 2 members could do a site review, so we don't have to have the time of tabling it and extending it to an additional meeting. And I'd be happy to meet with anybody anytime and take people there. We've already done some preliminary clearing there based on going over with Dave prior. So voluntary work at this point. Trevor Dackers is going to bring his big machine in just to grind up the stuff. I went in and cut a lot and then took my excavator down and moved things. And then we took all the old posts, removed the big rock that was in the way. But this permit application now is only for the dock, not the parking, not the grounds. This is for the dock, solely the dock. We'll be coming back. The University of Maine Engineering Group is doing a study on potential ways of parking, entering, egress, so on. I mean, it's been a swimming area for as long as I can remember.
Decades.
Yeah,
Years can
there
remember.
are a
It's
lot
always
of
been
cars
the
there.
place. But we need to improve some of the things, and it's a substantial little piece of land that actually goes up on those ledges above the lower part where you see people. So we may do some additional clearing up there eventually for picnic tables and so on. The necessity of it is because it was getting very dangerous, the amount of people swimming at Seal Harbor and going on the docks. One time last summer, I had 32 people on the floats down there between sunbathing and swimming. And we've had some very close calls with boats coming and going. We're the only dock I know of, municipal dock, that has kind of turned their back and let people swim. But it's such a key part of the community that the kids really utilizing it a lot. Now, the Recreation Committee wants to conduct swimming lessons this summer. So we've assured them we're going to do everything possible to have it in place. They're budgeting for it. We already have a float donated. We've already purchased the incline. The engineering is all finished. Bill has a packet thing and wants to see any of the things. And I also have stuff available that I'd be happy to answer any questions anytime for anybody. So that's where things stand. So I'm hoping that we can be on the April 11th agenda. And if it'd be possible to site review prior, that'd be terrific. And Bill, I spoke to Bill the other day about whether or not we need a public hearing. I didn't understand exactly what you meant by public hearing in the bill, so I apologize for that. I spoke with Janet about it briefly. She was going to look into it too from her end, but last year, $30,000 was approved by the town. There was some discussion about it then, so it's in the town books already, and it's been brought up publicly and approved. This year, we're asking for $10,000 to complete. We raised $53,000 in donations from many people. Sent in donations for it. We sent a appeal out in December, and we had an article in the paper in regards to it. And $53,000 came in, and I think we'll still be getting some more. So the bulk of it will be paid for through public donations. And there's been a huge amount of volunteer work. Alex Thorne donated the float and gave a substantial donation in addition. The Dillon Foundation also was generous, as were the Cohens, and then many other people in the island. So that's I guess that's it in a nutshell. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer any.
Anybody want to discuss anything?
I have a question for Dave. Now, this is a municipal project. Does it have to go under development review?
Not developed, no. No, this
No.
would be just like
A
a
regular?
regular dock.
Oh, okay, but if we
Regular.
start going into the parking lot?
The parking lot, yes, then we'll have to get into the, once they start doing that, then we'll have to get. into
That'll be,
development
we'll come
review
before the
process.
board, and that may not be until next year, we're not
Yeah.
sure.
Okay,
But we'll
Alright.
come before the board with that, with a whole separate application.
and
Have
will
you
you have the access ramp, whatever, staked out, the locations and whatnot?
It is now, and there's very good drawings. Tom Fowler has done the engineering. Well, he's the engineer that's done a lot of work for the town, actually. And all the abutters been notified quite a while ago at this point. I mean, because we had to get through the Army Corps of Engineers, tribal lands, DEP, all the various agencies.
Oh, as the harbor master submitted a letter?
Yeah, and I've been out there so much doing soundings. And I had to do, we had to go up by boat and do soundings when the Tom Fowler was over. We took GPS, and we actually, I included a little log of some of the soundings. So low tide is actually reasonable water where the flow will be, but the beauty of it, where it's gonna be, first off, be no boats allowed except for safety, like rowboat. We'll have to keep a rowboat there for safety. And whether they deem it okay once in a while to have kayaks or something, or we talked about rowing lessons. Possibly there'll be rowboat lessons for people who want to learn to row is something in the future. But that area is inside of where the boats are in the mooring field. We don't have to move any moorings. Where the two buoys have delineated the swimming area for years. When you go off, they're kind of in line with the float. So when you go off the float, you go towards the beach and you're completely out of the boating area. And plan is we'll probably put a line, a float line with buoys like you see in the swimming pools, the swimming areas on the ponds inland, where it'll create a swim lane for lessons. And anytime that there'll be lessons, there'll be an instructor and a lifeguard. And that'll maybe be 3 times a week up front. We've got to see how it all goes. That's really the recreation committee's part of it. But, you know, as harbor master, of course, I'll be watching it, but I want to close, once this is in place, we're going to put no swimming signs up on the existing facility. People still fish there, obviously, and people take their chairs down to watch people fish. And, you know, it's a great hangout for people. But we won't be having kids coming up between the floats with boats coming in. We've had some very, very close calls, and we just have to put a stop to that. And I started 2 years ago, I tried to damp it down a little bit, and the pushback was remarkable. I had parents driving to my house. They said, "You can't do this. The kids have to have a place that's safe to get down to." So this is a culmination of that.
I have no problem going on that site review
Okay.
for the next.
Well, before you say that, before you think about that, if you go on a site review before it approaches us, you open the door to do that on every application that comes through.
I understand that.
Okay.
He's came before the board. I have no problem with that. I mean, he's telling us what's going on.
Yeah, I can submit, I mean, I've got the application here, the original, but I was waiting till we had that final piece of DP, but if you'd like to wait until that is in your hand. It's
Well, I figured you would have that, and then once you got that, you would give it
Right.
I'll-
to the powers that be to make it this
The
way.
quicker that
But I
gets
have
you, the
no
quicker
problem
can
once
get-
you have that.
But
Like, you know, somebody can call me up and say, "Hey, we now have this."
sure,
I have no problem with that.
okay.
Me personally.
I understand.
So
But as a board, that opens up.
But you
Yeah, I
also
agree
have,
with you.
you also have the ability to do a case-by-case basis.
I understand,
you know.
but how do you, then you gotta think about how you're gonna justify
Well, it's a little
that.
bit different because it's municipality.
Yeah, that's why.
One of the things one of the questions that pop into my mind is, let's say everything goes as planned, everything goes hunky-dory, we get it all in. By getting it in there without getting any kind of a parking place or anything involved, what kind of congestion are we setting up by?
Well, I think most of the kids are probably gonna walk. You can't actually get there by right along the beach unless it's high tide from the existing lots. And the other thing you gotta remember, people have been using it for years,
I
years,
know,
years.
I've been around that
And
corner
the
a few
safety-
times and kids 4 abreast out in the road.
Right, but the safety issue that we're dealing with now is far greater, I feel. We've had some very serious close calls and I think taking that into consideration, I think.
I'm not arguing that
Yeah,
at all, I'm
No,
not,
but that's the point I want to make.
yeah, I'm not arguing that at all.
Is the speed limit gonna be lowered
We're
going through there?
the road committee is working on that. Now, they started last year. You
It's
probably noticed.
35 right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you probably noticed the speed, that trailer with the thing setting there a lot.
Yeah,
I would like to see the speed limit lowered, and I'd like to see, we've talked about a lot of things there, not just there, but at the main dock. We've talked about putting on the road itself, putting a crosswalk. We've talked about signage, obviously. The big main offenders that I worry about are the big trucks, especially the trucks taking from the transfer station. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but what we're talking about for parking is one direction only. You'd have to be coming from north to south, no more going. You won't be able to go across the road. And we'll make it very clear to kids or adults there, about safety, but we will be working with signage and the road committee on this for sure. But I'm really keeping the two items separate, because we've got a whole group of engineering people working on this, and of the best way to do this, what is allowable, how much space we need per car, sight lines, everything. That's all being worked on now. It's been very informal for years, as you know. And there's been many cars parked there many times. I don't want to see that get in the way of getting this dock up, because they're two separate, distinct items. And we're putting a set of steps to the shore that you can come from the water side, and literally get up on the dock. There'll be a foot trail, but the official foot trail, which we've opened up now, I mean, basically it's almost a natural trail. There's one little ravine where a culvert goes across, so we're probably going to drop a temporary ramp over it until we have the engineering study and they can do a nice drawing of some kind of a handy access bridge. But that's all going to be part of the secondary permit that'll come through. And I picture a lot of people getting there along the beach, unless tide's high. I picture people, I walk there all the time, a lot of people do. And the bottom line is we're gonna do everything we can do for signage and slowing people down. I've called people before. If I see people wailing through there, I'll take it on myself. I do it pleasantly, but I'll call people and say, hey, I live here.
That's why I took my phone number off my truck.
Yeah, but I usually can figure out who it is. And I've been here a long time. And I'll just say, my grandkids and a lot of other people's children are here, and people bicycling here, and you've got to slow her down. And if that doesn't work, I'll call Fred. So and Fred has been sitting there a lot. Last summer he started, and he said this year he's going to make it a point to work at slowing the people down there. It actually was better last year. People did start slowing down more, just by the amount of usage that was there.
Anybody on the board have any more questions they want to ask?
I guess the public hearing Do we have to wait to hear from Janet?
We can do some research on that too, and find out, going back into the town report and stuff like that, I guess, and see where that was.
And like any other permit, if, once it goes on the agenda and goes out to the public, if anyone asks for a
Right,
public hearing, we have to do it,
Right.
do that.
at this point, do I open the floor to anybody else that needs to, that would like to address the planning board on our screen?
Will any of you three volunteer to go down there with me for the site review if it gets to that point? Are we just dead in the water on that?
Oh,
I'd like to have further discussion of what we have to do and how we're gonna, how we're gonna deal with it in the future.
Could.
Yeah.
Could that happen prior to April 11th, so we don't get another till the next, because if we keep tabling it, we won't have to.
I
decide.
understand. But what we do, the decision we make is something we're gonna have to either live with or deal with.
No, I understand, but
I mean, if he had submitted it right now, minus that DEP permit, we would be looking at it right now,
Right.
and it still would have been tabled for a site review
And
as
the
well as
DEP.
the DEP permit.
right,
So that's why I,
yeah. I mean, personally, from being on boards myself many years out here, we've done things similar to this in the past.
And I
sat
can't-
many years on boards.
I can't put the application on the agenda until it's complete,
Right.
and it's not complete until we have the
Well,
DEP.
I'm not trying to be pushy, but,
I-
well, I am. a little
I'm
bit.
trying to remember, we've done something, I thought, that was waiting on something from somebody.
Well, we did that, you did that dock permit for, Dr. George, pending the sale. of
That's
the
right, that was
property.
pending the sale of the
Yeah.
property, but we still had all the DEP stuff and,
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
all right,
And like I said, we will have that shortly.
I don't see any hands waving on the screen, so I'm guessing that the people that are on visiting us on the screen do not have, oh, wait a minute. Is Melissa Burns got her
There's a
hand up?
hand up there somewhere.
no.
No,
Oh,
my
that's your,
cursor.
that's your
Oh.
mouse. All right. So, I mean, do you want to discuss that right now, or do we want to think about it? What do you want to do? As
So
a
do you
board,
have information on it? before
I
you-
have nothing, I have nothing.
Okay.
The point I'd like to make is that you have the authority to take things case by case. There's nothing that will constrain you to say, we have to do this based on precedent. You
Yeah.
have the power to say, yes, we will, no, we won't, in future things. You're not gonna be constrained by precedent in something like this.
When is your bidding process gonna be finished?
Well, we can't do it until we get the permit.
The DEP stuff, right?
We can't, well, until we get the planning board approval, we can't set it to bid.
You can't,
Why
No.
not?
because what if
I
we shut it
suppose we
down?
could put it to bid contingent on planning board approval. That would be a possibility. We already have a contractor that has given us rough ideas that are very low. I don't think anyone's gonna, but we still want to keep it above board and transparent.
Yeah,
So if we could put the bidding process out contingent on planning board approval, I'd like to see if Janet would be comfortable doing that. I mean, everyone's trying to make this happen. Janet's been very good too.
I don't think it's a bad idea, and
No,
I've
we-
said that over and over again.
Oh, no, I understand. We definitely would want to be able to be constructing it no later than in May. Because they're gonna get so busy, they may get jammed up in weather, any number of things. So, we're kind of, we waited a little long in ordering some of the materials. And some of the big runners are gonna take a little longer than we would like, but we feel we may have to go to extremes to get them, but we're doing it.
I know we try to help people out and try to expedite things if we can, and is this
Yeah, this-
something?
it seems,
we've been going through the process actually since last fall. That's how long it's taken to get to this point through the agencies. It's been because the agencies with COVID were jammed
Right.
and it
But
really.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a second and say that what I've been told in the past, as far as a home builder goes, an emergency on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but this is the town. This is not mine.
I
This is not
understand.
personal. The safety, it's also a safety issue.
Yep, yep, it is. And I, having been through a safety issue in McKinney, Texas at one point, where the hospital said that they would pay to put in a stoplight at the intersection where, at the entrance of the hospital. And McKinney said, no, there's no merit for it. And the hospital said, how many people have to die at a intersection
right.
before it is acceptable?
Yeah, oh, I understand.
Just looking at the schedule, you get all your permits and we get the application on the 11th and everything's in order, do the site review, you'd have your permit on the 25th
Of April.
of April.
And then it still has to get bid.
If
As long as we can-
everything.
as long as we can do the bid process prior to that. So I should check with Janet on that. We've already got the materials contingent on, the town, anyone who gets a bid will have to buy them from the town. Because we couldn't wait any longer because the supply chain is such with this,
Right.
these timbers, we couldn't take a chance.
Be cheaper that way.
Yeah, we just, some things you just can't get.
Yeah.
Well, I will still confirm that I will go whenever that's all done.
Okay,
So I don't speak for myself though.
yeah, well, I'm gonna call.
No, you do speak for
the-
yourself.
That's what I said.
Jamie and ask her where that is, because I talked to her not long ago, and she said it was en route, so then I will get it post-haste here, you know, in your box, and,
Okay. Last chance for addressing the planning board.
Bill,
Here's
I don't know if
something.
am I being heard? Terry Cowan.
Yep, you're being
Loud and
heard.
clear.
You don't have to yell, or we can turn it down, I guess.
Okay. Two things. One is, I think the board is dancing very close to making decisions without benefit of public notice and public hearing. I think you ought to be very careful about what you say in response to a potential applicant who comes in and wants to discuss it, all of which is fine, but you shouldn't be stepping into a decision where you are, a situation where you're telling them what you're thinking or making actual decisions that should be made in a public hearing. And as a corollary of that, I believe I heard somebody say that they didn't need a permit for at least part of what they're talking about, assuming we're talking about Big Tree and the piers and expansion program. And I would suggest, in fact, I know that there is no place in the land use ordinance that said that the town or private not-for-profit organizations are exempt from any normal planning board discussions of land use and permitting and so forth. So I think this decision really should be in an open, advertised public meeting. And I look forward to having that meeting.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
there are certain exceptions for municipalities on things for maritime use, by the way. That can be seen on maintenance and so on, like a ferry dock, like any public ramp, like a big tree. You do not have the same constrictions as a private person would. We went through that back in the 90s when we had to do repairs.
Well, whatever it is, I would want to see it in the ordinance book to find out exactly
Sure,
black
no, I
and white.
understand, that's fine. I don't want to go beyond what we're supposed to do, but I
Right.
just want to. I'm just of the essence on this.
It always is.
Yeah, and there's a lot of volunteers working on this.
It always is. All right, any further communication? Correspondence? No correspondence. Committee reports, anybody wants to chime in with? And I have no additional business, so I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All right, I'll make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Oh, I thought you did.
All right, motion made by Bill Shoppy, seconded by Isabel Jackson. Any discussion on the matter? No discussion being heard. All in favor, Jesse Burns,
All right.
Bill Shoppy, aye, Isabel Jackson,
Hi.
and Jennifer Wax.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.
Bill, I will not be here anymore.
Maybe Gil will be back by now.
You should be back.
Yeah, I think he will.